Picture this: a young woman, ambitious, beautiful, and fiercely independent, steps into the most powerful monarchy in the modern world. Cameras follow her every move, headlines write themselves, and millions believe they're watching a fairy tale unfold. But inside the palace walls, something entirely different is happening. Meghan Markle, the Hollywood actress turned duchess, walks into an institution that survived wars, revolutions, and scandals spanning centuries, and within months, she realizes the one thing she thought she could do. She can't win Tom Bower. The investigative author known for pulling no punches spent years tracing the truth behind the story the world thought it knew. According to him, this wasn't just about personality differences or culture clash. This was about Hollywood ambition colliding headfirst with an institution that's built on the opposite: obedience, duty, and hierarchy. Meghan arrived thinking she'd modernize the monarchy, maybe even redefine it. She believed her voice, her confidence, and her media savvy would make her not just another royal, but the royal. The one who could bridge the gap between tradition and the modern world. But the British monarchy isn't built on personal freedom. It's built on service, and that's a lesson she wasn't ready for. Bower says Meghan walked into Buckingham Palace expecting the kind of control she had in Hollywood, the power to manage her image, to shape her narrative, to set the stage. She didn't understand that in this world, your story belongs to the crown. Every word, every appearance, every gesture is scripted by an invisible machine that's been running for centuries. And once she realized that, once she saw that the spotlight she thought she'd be handed was never going to be hers alone, something cracked. She didn't just marry Prince Harry. She married into a dynasty that doesn't bend for anyone. Not for Diana, the most beloved woman in the world. Not for Sarah Ferguson, and certainly not for a Hollywood actress, no matter how charming or media-trained she might be. But what Meghan didn't count on was how much the system resists change. She thought she could walk in and be heard. Instead, she found herself being managed. Then came 2021. Oprah. That interview. The moment that changed everything. The world watched as Meghan and Harry sat down under that California sky and told their side. The pain, the isolation, the institution's coldness. The interview divided the planet overnight. To some, Meghan was brave, finally speaking truth to power. To others, she was calculated, weaponizing her story for sympathy. But for Tom Bower, it was something else entirely. The spark that lit his investigation. He says he wasn't planning on writing about Meghan until that moment. But what he saw that day, unchecked claims, emotional manipulation, and a narrative he believed didn't line up with the facts, pushed him to dig deeper. What kind of person, Bower wondered, goes on global television and challenges one of the most powerful families in the world? What drives someone to risk everything, reputation, security, legacy, to make their story heard? His mission became to uncover who Meghan really was before the tiara, before the tabloids, before the palace, and what he found painted a complex picture. Meghan wasn't just a royal outsider. She was a Hollywood insider, someone who'd spent years perfecting the art of self-presentation. In Hollywood, perception is reality. You control your image or someone else does it for you. That's the world she came from, a place where brand equals power. And according to Bower, Meghan's brand, Markle, was always front and center. Every move, every partnership, every interview was calculated to protect it. He describes her as someone surrounded by professionals, PR experts, media strategists, digital monitors, who tracked every mention, every headline, every narrative. Nothing was random. Even the army of online defenders who rush to her aid when criticism starts. Bower says she knows exactly who they are. They operate like a digital shield, pushing back on anyone who questions her, reframing every negative headline into something empowering. It's a machine, smooth and well-oiled. But when you're used to that kind of control, the royal system feels like a cage. In the monarchy, you don't get to shape your story. You live the one written for you. There's only one star, the sovereign. Everyone else plays a supporting role. And when Meghan realized that she would always be the duchess in the background, not the leading woman she'd envisioned, California started calling her name again. Back home, she could reclaim control. She could be the brand again. No courtiers. No protocols. No centuries-old system reminding her of her place. Just freedom. That move across the Atlantic wasn't just a relocation, it was a declaration. Meghan was stepping back into a world where she could be the main character. But freedom came with a cost. A family divided. Harry, once the world's favorite prince, became the outsider. His laughter, his charm, the easygoing nature that once made him beloved, it all got buried under layers of controversy. Suddenly, he was a man at odds with his own family. The world watched the brotherly bond with William fracture, saw the distance grow between father and son, and the public's golden prince became a symbol of conflict. Bower's revenge. Meghan, Harry, and the war between the Windsors tried to make sense of the chaos. He pieced together how it all fell apart. The moments that built the tension, the decisions that made reconciliation harder, and the stories neither side wanted to admit. It wasn't just about who said what. It was about a culture clash that could never be fixed. The monarchy is tradition incarnate, slow, deliberate, rooted in time. Meghan represented the opposite, modern, spontaneous, individualistic. Two forces that could never coexist under the same roof without one yielding to the other. And when neither side was willing to bend, everything broke. Now, the question that haunts everyone remains. Was Meghan misunderstood or just unprepared? Did she truly not grasp what it meant to marry into the world's oldest monarchy, or did she know and think she could outplay it? If it's the former, her story is tragic. A woman trying to fit into a system that could never accept her for who she was. But if it's the latter, then it's something else. Raw ambition versus immovable tradition. And in that battle, there's only ever one winner, and it's never the individual. What if she had stayed quiet, followed the royal playbook, smiled through the restrictions, and played her part? Would we even be talking about her now? Maybe she'd still be in London, attending ribbon cuttings and charity galas, raising her children behind palace gates. Maybe Harry would still be the prince the world adored, or maybe the pressure would have crushed them both anyway. The truth probably sits somewhere in the middle. Meghan was too independent for the royal mold, and the monarchy was too rigid to evolve. They collided, and the world got a front row seat. But here's the irony. Meghan didn't get what she came for. She didn't become the centerpiece of the royal narrative. She didn't reshape the monarchy or modernize it from within. But she did something arguably more powerful. She disrupted it. She became the story that forced the crown into global scrutiny again. The woman who challenged one of the most untouchable institutions on earth. So, what do you think? Was Meghan a victim of an outdated system or the architect of her own downfall? Did she try to change too much too fast, or was she never truly given a fair chance? Let's hear your take in the comments below. This story isn't done yet. Hit that like button if you made it this far. Subscribe for more deep dives into royal drama, and stay tuned, because the next chapter in this saga is still being written. And trust me, you're going to want to see how it ends.